Guys, welcome to the 360 Marketing Live. Woo! You've got Mike. You've got Jen Ehrman. We're here. Who's here already? If you guys are tuning in, go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm in San Diego. Mike, you're in?
St. Louis. Not raining. Not raining. Proof behind me.
Jen?
I'm in San Diego too, girl.
Yay! Can we high five? No, Mike's in the middle.
I'm like, I don't know.
Mike, you messed it up. All good.
But wait. Aren't there four of us?
There is four of us. Why are we missing a person?
Yeah, we only have like, what do we have, like 240? Where are we at?
We're not 360.
Wow.
Amanda, you guys, is on her way. She is checking in at her hotel. She is living the digital nomad life. She's been traveling the country. She literally started in Toronto a few weeks ago, came all the way south through the U.S. She's heading west through the U.S. So she checked into her hotel like 20 minutes ago and has Wi-Fi, but it's going to take her a couple minutes to get in and plugged into everything and connected to the call. So she will be here. We didn't forget her.
Hopefully her geography is better than Stephanie's.
Oh my God! You actually got my reaction right then and there. Amanda, you're watching. Join us on Skype, and then I'll loop you into the call. I can't add you from the desktop, but cool. Hey, Demi and Ross, so good to see you. Who else is here? What up? All right. So, Mike, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Star Wars first, and then we're going to compare that to the new Star Trek series, and then we're probably going to get into some Power Rangers, because obviously, Power Rangers. Wait, is that not what you wrote in the description?
Stephanie's face is killing me, and I've got Amanda over here. I'm like, this.
I kept flipping to like Jen's face, and I was like, Mike.
Not what I was supposed to say. We're talking about networking. We're talking about conferences and building relationships and learning and collaborating and co-marketing and all those fun things. And we're going to be talking about the conferences that we've been at over the past few months and years, and probably a little bit into how we met each other and how we've grown our businesses as a result of all this networking and conference action that's been going on.
Okay, fun. Okay, 1 second, because I'm actually dialing Amanda right now, and I honestly don't know what she's doing, what's happening. So if her face pops up, we will see what happens. She's just probably going to come in here like a tornado. All right, cool. So for those of you guys that are just tuning in, this is the 360 Marketing Squad. As you noticed, it's Mike Alton, it's Jen Ehrman, it's Stephanie Liu, Amanda Robinson, coming soon. And today we're going to be talking about networking. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we wanted to chat about is, let me look at my notes, new ways to network online. Okay, you two are like the most connected freaking people online. What are you doing to grow your audience and grow your network to net worth? Let's do it. Go.
All right, Mike,
Ladies
you're up.
First?
You do it first.
I'm first? Okay.
You're first. You said we had this conversation. You're like, I like to go first and get it over with. So
this wasn't what I was talking about. So one of the first things for me, one of the most important things for me is when I am connecting with people on social media, which is where I do most of my connections and relationship building. I'm a very virtual, remote kind of a person. But the first thing that I want to make sure that I'm doing is providing value and giving to that other person and not going right into the middle of the relationship or the beginning of the relationship with an ask. I mean, how many of you watching today, you get a connection request from LinkedIn and you cringe a little bit and you start to think, man, gosh, should I? Is this one going to be for real, or is it going to be on the sales pitch as soon as I hit connect? And then 9 times out of 10, you hit that connect button and boom, you get the sales pitch in the DMs and you're like, dang it, I knew I should not have accepted that connection, because that's a terrible way to grow a relationship, grow a business. Those people are playing a numbers game, and you don't want to do that. You want to have a long play in mind, a long game in mind, where you're trying up front to build a solid relationship that's built on trust and generosity and mutual interest, and be open to wherever that relationship might go, professionally, personally, whatever the case might be.
I love it. Okay, so we've got George Demanis on here and says, Mike, you look tan. Hey. You look amazing. Everyone, go ahead and give it up for...
Yeah, I spent a whole week down in the Cayman Islands, so I look really dark.
Yeah. You two are busy traveling the world. I'm like, well, although I guess I can't say anything, because Amanda and I are going to be in Scottsdale tomorrow, so we got to keep that, I guess we'll be getting our tan on too.
All right, you guys, we got to keep the humble brags to a minimum.
So, and I was going to, because Mike talked about building the relationships, and that, and putting yourself, like asking for, or not putting the ask out there too soon and really building the relationship first. And one of the things that I really do in building my, my network online is just giving of myself. So whether it's going live on Instagram, whether it's answering a question in a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group, or if someone reaches out on Twitter and asks you something, just give of yourself, because the more you put yourself out there to solve someone else's problems or give them resources that they need, the more likely they are to want to build a relationship with you. And that's when they follow you. That's when they comment back. That's when they send you a direct message. That's when they send you emails. And whether or not that develops into a full client relationship or just a friendship, it's when you put yourself out there and people get to know you. And I know Damien, you said, is watching, and he's been doing that road to 300, where he does kind of like a 2-minute video every single day. He's on like day 210 to 11, something like that, where he's created a video every single day. Sometimes the topics are kind of, random, and he doesn't want to be there on camera, but he shows up. And people love it because he's just giving of himself, being completely open, honest, and transparent. And he's building that relationship with people in a very natural way. So when it comes to networking online, you definitely want to, think about what you can do for other people, not what they can do for you.
Okay, cool. And so here's one of the reasons why we've got people tuning in today. And the fact is, some of us are introverts. Flipping over to Mike. Boom. Mike, what are some tips for introverts?
I am an ambivert, and maybe most introverts are ambiverts, but this is a phrase that Mia Voss kind of clued me into a year or two ago, which it basically means it's somebody who is introverted most of the time, that doesn't want to be expending that much energy in having conversations with like real life people, but we can turn it on when we need to. Obviously, I'm having conversations. I'm on live video, for goodness sakes, right now, which is something that a lot of introverts would be terrified about. And to be perfectly honest, I was terrified the first time I was on live video, which was a few years ago. But over time, I've become more comfortable. And I think for me, one of the big keys is having some early successes. Not trying to do too much so that those successes are possible, right? But I've had some success with live video, so I became comfortable in live video. I had some successes when I attended live networking events, and that made me want more. It made me realize that, gosh, I can do that. I can go to the Midway and at Social Media Marketing World and spend an evening with thousands of other marketers wandering around and having real conversations and not being completely uncomfortable or feeling completely out of my element.
Love it. Okay.
I love that. And I was going to point out, too, like, just to totally hog the conversation, because you guys know I love to talk. But it's one of those things where, and I'm very extroverted. You put me in most situations, like if you put me at Social Media Marketing World, I am not shy. I am like, I will walk up to anybody. I'm in my space. I'm happy. I know the crowd. But there's a lot of networking events that I go to where I don't know the people that are there, or it's not like I'm surrounded by people that I've known for years. And, I go into that introverted type personality as well, where I start to, be a little, extra cautious, and I'm less likely to walk up to people and just say hi. And by the way, my daughter's showing up to say hi to everybody because, parenting. But one of the things that I've always tried to do, and Amanda is actually here. We're so excited. She made it in.
She's here. Okay, I got the screen on you, Mama.
But one of the things I always do is look for those people who are also kind of by themselves. Don't be buried in your phone. Don't be tuning other people out. Don't just necessarily rush for a group of people. Grab a plate of food, grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever it is. And if someone else is sitting at a table by themselves, just ask if you can join them. Don't feel like you have to rush into a group of people if you're kind of in that introverted mindset. Just go up to one person and say hi, or as you walk by, kind of smile at somebody. And, everyone's there for the same reasons. Most people are probably nervous and shy as well. So if you just take that little itty bitty step, next thing you know, 2 more people join you at that table, and now you're having a conversation with multiple people and building your network.
I think you just dropped the food funnel that Mike and I have been talking about forever.
All about the food.
You guys,
all about the food. Everyone connects over food.
Everyone connects over food. So if you ever see any of us at Social Media Marketing World and one of us has like a snack, just ask for Mike's. Just ask Mike's. Okay.
Right there. Because I'm a giver.
He's a giver. All right, cool. So we got Amanda on the show. Amanda, can you go ahead and say something? I just want to make sure your audio is working. Oh, darn it. Okay. No, we are going to have to figure that out. So while I figure that out, Jen and Mike.
Testing.
Wait. You're there.
Okay. Woo!
Good job figuring that out.
This has been an event. What can I say?
Hey, that's cool. Fill us in. What happened?
We are now 360.
Yay! Oh, so good.
Amanda, tell us what's up. Let's decompress.
Okay, so,
what just happened?
So it's been a whirlwind. So I am making my way all the way west to. I'm finally in Arizona. I'm finally in the same time zone as half of you, and it took me a little while with getting checked in, getting into the hotel, and getting hooked on. So thank you for your patience. I'm glad that it all worked out.
Love it. All right, cool. So Jen, take it away.
Well, I was going to say, hey, Steph, tell us about the conference buddy system.
The conference buddy system? You mean where Mike helps me out at conferences? Okay, so there's this thing that I do because I'm a live streamer. So I'm like 5'4", but I have like a bunch of junk that I bring with me, especially from like camera stuff. And it's super helpful, especially ladies, right? To have an amazing friend like Mike Alton who would be like, I will be your handler. I will carry your stuff. And I was like, yo, we homies, like for life.
That was my girl Evie. When I was at Social Media Marketing World last year, my girl Evie was that one. And she was like carrying my stuff. She's holding my camera for me. She's holding the tripod for me when I'm going live. Like, she was like legit part of my entourage, and she was my handler. We were like taking photos back in the hotel room, and she's got, the behind the scenes photos of me live streaming. And I was like, I'm not joking. Like, everyone needs one of those. And I'm happy to be that for other people as well, but everyone needs one of those at a conference for sure.
Oh, I got dibs on Mike. Dibs on Mike!
Well, the cool part was that you and I, Steph, both were going to the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference here in St. Louis. And, somehow we realized that I think you saw that I was going or something to that effect. And we connected there because we really didn't know a lot of other people. And so I know for me.
You just really wanted to be my friend. I didn't know I was a last resort, Mike.
What not to do with conference networking? I'm just saying.
What not to mention out loud.
Excuse me while I take myself off the screen and just like cry for a second. No, go ahead.
No, but I think we helped each other, right? I mean, because we had that connection. We had somebody there that we could make sure we were going to lunch and got food and going to our speaking times on time and those kinds of things, and get us there, somebody to talk to and whatnot and hang out with, so that we weren't alone all the time or trying so hard to find people or introduce ourselves to people that we didn't already know.
Dude, it's
a lot easier.
It's legit the food funnel. Like, strategically put your food around you, right? And then just people will be your friends. That's awesome.
Come over.
Bring cookies.
Amanda, we've been talking about, since you kind of just popped in and then partially through this conversation, but we were talking about for the introverted people at conferences and some tips to kind of, make the best of it. So what things do you do in terms of like conferences, whether you're maybe shy or uncomfortable, to like really just get to, build that network and talk to more people?
It's all about kind of exactly what you guys are saying, the conference buddy. So finding that one person that you kind of click with, that you get along with, and then just piggybacking on them and jumping into conversations with them and allowing them to introduce you to their network and who they know. And then you don't necessarily just have to stick with that one person. You can end up sort of migrating over to another person, or just make a little bit of effort to make friends with one person, and that one person will help introduce you to so many more people. So don't overwhelm yourself with trying to network with everybody. Just try and find one person that you click with, and that usually leads to more conversations.
Actually,
I was just going to say, like, related to that, kind of like to what Mike did, with you, Steph, like reaching out beforehand. Like, reach out, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or in like a group. Like, if you know that other people are going to the conference, even if you don't know them, but you're in the same group, or you say, hey, like on Twitter, I'm going to this conference, who else is going? If you connect in advance with people and then say, great, let's meet up Thursday at 4:00 and, we'll just say hi. And next thing you know, you've got 3 or 4 people that are meeting up with you that you get the chance to meet, and you feel like you've already met somebody even though the first time you're meeting them is in that situation, but at least you've chatted a little bit beforehand and you have someone to look forward to for that kind of buddy system so that you're not as kind of like shocked when you walk in the door to this like just swarm of people.
Dude, Jen knows this because at Social Media Marketing World, she's like, this is my table. In like, you know that little area where people like get to meet up at the community? She's like, this is my table. And she's like, only my gentourage kicks it at this table, right? Like, homegirl could have had like a freaking flag on her table, dude. Like, this is only for the gentourage, completely blinged out. And she's like, we're going to meet here at this time. And I was like, yo, on my calendar. We good, Jen. We good.
You guys have to understand, too, like, that was on Friday at Social Media Marketing World, where at that point, I literally could not walk anymore. I was like, my heels looked fabulous, but my feet were not feeling it. So I was like, I'm going to sit here at this table, and you all can come to me. And people
Jen,
did.
We've
it was like we sat right in the middle of the convention. Like, it was perfect.
Jen, we've been over this.
I know. I can't get any
There are
audio.
conference heels. There are going to dinner heels. There are just sit there and look pretty heels.
Exactly. And I was like, I mean, I try to wear my most comfortable heels, but after 4 days of walking around, it's hard. And I think we lost Amanda's Wi-Fi.
We did. I'll get her back.
But, and to that point, as well, like one of the things I always do at Social Media Marketing World, because the way it's laid out, and for those of you who have never been, it's at the San Diego Convention Center, and there's this really long hallway where all the kind of breakout rooms kind of lead off of. I pick a table along the window right in the middle of that hallway, and I just sit there. Now, granted, people know me, so they're more likely to come up and talk to me because they'll recognize me and come up and say hi. But by just literally sitting in the middle, like physically in the middle of the convention, people walk by and they say hi, or you can flag people down when they walk by you, and it's super easy to just build those connections and say hi to those people because you're literally in the middle and people are going to walk right by you.
I totally did the exact same thing at Content Marketing World in Cleveland because it was like the first day. So I sat at a couch that was kind of in this hallway just above the registration area, and everybody was passing back and forth. So Scott Monty came by and said, "Hey, Mike," and we had a big conversation. And Vivica Von Rosen came over, and Chuck Moran, and a bunch of other people that came over and saw me just because I was sitting there in a convenient spot, and I didn't have to move.
You guys make us sound like we're all lazy. Like, no, my crew meets here. It's like West Side Story, like where you have like little crews and we have like a little dance off. You got the gentourage, the Alton effect.
But let's talk about the challenge of first of all, is my audio okay? Can you hear me okay? Perfect. Okay. But let's talk about all four of us didn't just walk into a conference one day and just be able to sit there and just talk to everybody. Every single one of us had to start somewhere, and it doesn't just happen overnight. It is a slower process. So to start with that one person, make that one connection, and make the effort once that conference is done, put the effort into the follow-up through the 365 days of the year. And then when you get to the conference the next year, you already have that one small little network, and then when you show up the following year, you have a bigger network, and it grows over time. So I don't want people to have that false expectation that they see groups of us all chatting together and all having a really good time, and it looks very cliquey, but it's relationships that have been fostered and built over years. It isn't just walk off the street into a conference and all of a sudden we're just complete social butterflies. So it's something that you do have to put the effort into, and you do have to build it, and you have to build it over time. But there are ways that you can do it.
I think there has to be like a conscious effort too, and this is something I read years ago, and I've been very conscious of it when I go to conferences, to not make a closed circle when you're in a group of people. Because if you're standing in a group of 5 people and you're in a closed circle, you make it like psychologically and physically impossible for someone to join the conversation. But if you leave an opening in that circle, so if you make like a half moon or like an almost circle and you leave space, people are more likely to walk up, whether they know you or not. But if they see there's a space, it's like psychologically inviting for them to walk in. And like, even if I know people, I'll wave. If they've got a closed circle, I'll wave and keep on walking because it's like they don't want to be interrupted. But when they leave that open space, you're more likely to be like, oh, let me just kind of edge my way in there and say hi, and then you're part of the conversation. So if you're at that conference and you are talking to other people, be consciously aware of that, and leave literal physical space for other people to come join you as well.
I don't know. I'm like the bull in the china shop. I'll see that closed circle and I'll just see somebody I know walk right in there. Hi, guys. What did I miss? Kind of like
this is why you and I are friends.
What did I miss? Yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right, you guys. So we have another question here. So what other tips do you have for introverts? Mike, a lot of questions about this.
Yeah. So one of the things I was thinking about is not so much what to do in terms of like making those connections and that sort of thing, but just be mindful of the fact that you are an introvert. Recognize that truth about yourself and recognize what that means to you. Typically, that means that it expends more energy for you to go and have that conversation with somebody and to be in that kind of environment. So take more care of yourself. Don't feel pressured to spend the entire evening at the networking event. You can go back to the hotel early if you want to. You can, do something else. You can go to morning yoga all these conferences have so many different ways that you can network. It doesn't always have to be at the loud parties thing, and it doesn't always have to be all night long at the bar. You can take breaks, and you can be mindful of that fact of yourself so that it's easier for you to go through your process the next day.
Love it. Okay.
I think that's an awesome point. And I know, I've got a couple of friends that do that when they go to conferences. They purposely get their own hotel room. They don't want to share a hotel room with somebody. Like a lot of, introverts are like, well, if I buddy up and share a room with somebody, maybe A, it's cheaper, but B, that'll give me that kind of buddy system. But I have some friends that are like, no, they want their own space because they know they're introverted and they know they're going to be just completely mentally exhausted from a conference and that level of human interaction where there's hundreds or thousands of people surrounding you, and they need that quiet space to go back to the hotel and decompress. And they don't want someone to talk to them or, that they have to worry about waking that person up or being woken up by that other person. So sometimes it really is just knowing where you have that quiet space. And a lot of conferences are aware of this too. Like different conferences have different amenities, and a lot of conferences will have a quiet room. Ask if they have a quiet room where you can go and it's meant where you can just sit and decompress and there's not meant to be conversations and chatter. And if they have that, take advantage of it.
Stephanie's not allowed in the quiet room.
I know. I was like, okay, so I'm basically not in that room. Dude, I'm like at the buffet. I was like, yo, you want some of these croissants? I heard they're really awesome, Paris.
So Jen, everything that you were saying about needing to sort of take that downtime, or it's overwhelming when you're surrounded by people and then, have that people not wanting to share a room, just have that sort of alone time. That's exactly what I'm experiencing on this road trip, this cross-country road trip. Right. Honestly, it's wonderful. And this is a totally different form of networking. So the networking, I'm taking this sort of that one step further. So I've networked with a ton of wonderful, amazing people at all of these conferences. And now I'm doing a cross-country road trip where I'm asking people to put their hand up to say, do you want Small Dog and I to come visit on our road trip? And people are opening their doors, and I'm taking that networking from online and taking it back into the IRL, the in real life space again. But with the challenge of that, it's always go time, because I only do 2 to 3 nights in any place, usually 2 nights when I'm staying as a guest somewhere. And people want to take you to dinner. They want to entertain you. They want to get the most out of the time that they have with you while you're there. And it's like a miniature conference. It's amazing. And I'm fired up and I love every minute of it, and it lights me up. But then I realize that there's that huge crash that happens of like, that's why I slept in a tent in the freezing cold front that went through New Mexico, because I needed to disconnect. I needed that, I don't want to stay with anybody right now time. I needed that pullback. So whether you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert, I think we all need that to some degree. So it's just being aware of it when you are going to conferences and knowing that they are exhausting, and keeping up with all these conversations and the energy. Like there's a huge vibe that happens when you're surrounded by other like-minded people. And it sucks the life out of you as the day goes on, but you don't realize it until you try and wake up the next day and function at the conference, and you're just like hitting a wall and you just can't.
Sorry.
It's a lot like parenting a toddler.
That's very true.
As mine literally just fell on the floor because she's mad that I'm not giving her attention.
Aww. You know what? It was funny because like everyone's been talking, and then all of us, we kind of like sit there. We're like, yeah. And I was like, let's do something different. Okay, well, here's a question for you guys. Okay, so yes, we're going to be networking at these conferences because we find the value in meeting people outside of our circles and going beyond our reach. But how do you make yourselves memorable, right? Like, how do you make yourself stick out from the sea of sameness? Because everyone has business cards, like maybe someone's wearing like all yellow or all orange. How do you make yourself stand out so they actually remember who you are after the conference, and you could take that relationship to the next level? This could also be like dating advice.
Amanda's got the number one answer for this.
Okay, so chatbots. My answer to life, my answer to everything is just chatbots. So rather than using and giving out business cards, I don't do business cards anymore. I have my messenger scan code on my phone, and I just instruct people to open their messenger, click on people, click on scan code, scan the code that I have on my wallpaper on my phone. And they're instantly connected into my chatbot. It's like a live business card where they can connect with me on Facebook. They can visit my website. They can get my email address. There's all sorts of information in there, and I can keep it constantly updated depending on the event that I'm at. So I can make it event specific if I want to. So that's the 2018 answer. The 2017, 2016, 2015 answer is I wear pink. It becomes a signature. The bright pink, the neon pink heels, I'm always in pink. So you recognize me when I go to conferences based on the ridiculous overload of pink. But it's memorable. It stands out. And you can pick me out of a crowd.
Well, that's awesome, because I wouldn't want you to take Jeff's advice, which is to grow a beard. Maybe in 2019, but us ladies, nah, I think we're going to subscribe to that. Jen.
I've been trying for years.
Jeff, what's your secret?
Right?
Wifey will
How do we get in on this?
Not allow me to do that. But now, Amanda, other than wearing pink, there was something else you were doing 2 years ago in social media marketing world. Do you remember?
I feel like
instead of business cards, what were you doing to connect with people? Because I loved it, and it's a I don't want to say it's low tech, because it's not low tech, but it's a lower tech than chatbots for a lot of people listening. You were doing selfies.
Was it my business cards that I had? Oh my gosh, I always do selfies. Yes, it's the selfies, and it's the come find me and let's do selfies together.
Yes.
So
which is how I met you in at Park.
I feel bad for. I shouldn't.
Park as in like the nightclub, right? Not like let's meet at the community park, right? Okay.
Yeah,
I just want to clarify.
Park.
Mike makes a really great point as far as a networking tactic. Getting selfies with a whole bunch of other people, and then the selfie happens, and immediately the first question is, okay, how can I tag you? And you're getting connected right on the spot. And then you get tagged. And once you're tagged and you're connected, once you open up that window of communication, aka Facebook, if that's the channel you're going to communicate with, you have access to their profile. You start to see their content surfacing up in your news feed with the algorithm. So over time, you're getting a little more of the behind the scenes look at who they are, and you're not being forgotten throughout the year. So you're seeing them, they're seeing you, and make the effort, the proactive efforts to engage with them online after the conference, rather than the worst thing, if I can give in 2018 going into 2019, the worst thing that you can do is take somebody's business card and put it into the stack of business cards and leave the conference at the end. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make the effort to, if your mode of communication is best via email, then sit there and email them on the spot while they're in front of your face. And just, is this the right email? Did I get there? Okay, I'm sending you a quick little hi right now. Something immediately on the spot, because when you leave that conference, the overwhelm, the exhaustion, the tired, you just can't sort it all out to make the most of networking. And you might have certain key people that you network with that you're like, okay, well, I needed to achieve these 3 things. I achieved those 3 things. I know who I need to talk to. I'm good. But what you're missing out on is there are so many other people that you interact with at a conference that might not be on your particular agenda list for that day, but they're people that as you cross paths with them, like that's how all of this has happened, is just me crossing paths with these amazing people throughout time with no agenda behind it. So be open to those relationships, be open to communicating, and don't go into it with the closed, the blinders on, just saying I just need to achieve these 1, 2, or 3 things. And that's why I'm saying connect with people on the spot. Because if you take that business card and you email those, 3 important people that you needed to connect with, great, you've got that achieved, but don't take home a stack of business cards and then forget all of those amazing conversations that were tied to those business cards at the end of the conference.
I love it. And I want to take that one step further, because one of the things that I've learned from collecting hundreds of business cards is that when you get home, you forget where you met that person or who that person was. So if you're going to take the business card, write something on the business card about where you met them. I met them at Park, or I met them at dinner, or I met them outside of this breakout session. And if you are going to do Amanda's recommendation of sending an email or something right away, I need to stand up taller.
No. I was like, this is off. No. I was totally like, this is Brady Bunch, and I could totally I'm just pointing at you, pay attention to her.
Okay. I thought it was I'm getting lower.
No, I'm below you. So if you wanted to
perfect.
look down, hi.
But it's if you can, even if you send that email or that direct message right then and there, if you can just say, "Hey, it was so great to meet you at lunch today. I'm so glad we got a chance to talk about, our kids. I look forward to staying in touch." Because A, then you'll remember how you met them, but B, they'll remember how they met you. So that when they get home from the conference and they're going through those emails that come in or the direct messages or whatever it is, however you connect with them, they're not like, okay, I met 3,000 people in 4 days.
That goes back to your point, Jen. That goes back to your point that you were making earlier, where make it about them. Don't make it about you. So find those opportunities where you've had that little olive branch or that window of opportunity to make that connection happen and make it about them. But make that connection, digitally connect on the spot, and don't leave it to the last minute. Don't leave it to the last day. It won't happen.
And I was going to say, because Amanda does the selfies, I do the shoe fees. So that's how I stand out when I go to conferences, right? So I am known for my shoes. People literally come to my session to see what shoes I'm going to wear. I'm not even joking. This is what happens. And because the shoes are on lockdown until I show up at Marketing World. Nobody knows what shoes I'm going to wear before I get on stage. And all the conferences I go to, I went to a conference out in Nebraska and I was wearing full-blown sparkle shoes. And I'm like, I don't know if Nebraska is ready for the sparkles. But it's, that's what I'm known for. And so instead of taking a selfie, I take a shoe fee, which makes people go, oh my gosh, that's so different. And they always remember me as the shoe fee girl. So there's ways that, you can add a little bit of your personality. If there's something you're known for, Amanda wears pink and I'm known for my shoes. And, Mike's always got, the Agorpulse colors going on and everything.
Well, I was going to say, so Amanda's selfie, shoe fee, and then the both of us, Mike, we're food funnel. We will feed you.
Right.
I will straight up come to your hood, your conference, and be like, yo, tell me where the best restaurant is. What do I need to try? I'm in St. Louis. Where are you going to take me to? You come to San Diego? I'm going to take you to Convoy. Girl, dim sum. What? Ramen. Yes. So you've got a couple of tips. You got your selfies, your shoe fees, and your food funnels here. Or Mike will just take you to Paris. Seriously.
There was one other sort of low tech thing that I did in previous years before I went super anti-business card, woe is me, where I used, it was through Moo business cards, where I took different headshots, and I had a whole ton of different headshots, and I had business cards made with a whole bunch of different headshots and my information on the back. And what I would do is when somebody said, oh, let's exchange cards, I'd hand them my little stack of cards, and I'd say, go through the deck and pick the one that speaks to you the most. And based on the picture that they picked, I could start a conversation with them based on what the picture was related to. So I had, ones with me wakeboarding. I had ones that were more photography related. I had more casual ones. So based on that was a conversation starter. So you can do the same thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be with headshots. It can be with things or phrases or anything that makes sense to you, that gives you and empowers you to open up a conversation in a topic that you're comfortable with.
I love that. One of my friends, Gary, where he has this card. One of them is very PC, but the other one is what I like, because it goes you're fucking awesome. Keep that shit up. And I was like, I want this card. I hung it on my desk. I was like, Gary Ware, love you to death.
That's awesome.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about conferences, and we all speak at different conferences. 2019 is just rolling around the corner. People are setting aside budgets. They're planning ahead. What conferences are you guys going to be at next year? Or if there's one coming up? What's up?
All of them. Well, just all of them. Put them all on the map. We'll be there.
So, obviously all of us are going to Social Media Marketing World this year, right? We're all going to be there. So all of you who are watching, please come say hi. Please don't feel like you can't say hi to us. We're all probably the most approachable people. So please come say hi. We're all going to be at Social Media Marketing World.
Mike.
Right, yeah, Mike's totally unapproachable.
Mike and I will both be in Convoy eating dim sum.
Yeah, we will be eating.
I'd be outside with one of those big old charter buses, yo, you guys want to eat? Let's go, let's do this. Food funnels, hang out. Sharing is caring.
So that's in March, so we're all going to be there for that, which I think is going to be awesome. I know for me, I have a couple conferences starting to line up. Mike and I just talked and got kind of confirmation today that I will be in St. Louis for the MDMC conference. I'm so excited. I know. I can't wait. And I have a couple other little like small things going on, but they're very niche specific. So I'm going to be speaking at NAMM in Anaheim in January, which is a music conference. It's like Comic-Con for musicians. So there's like, I don't even know, like there's like hundreds of thousands of people that go to this conference up at Anaheim. So I'll be there again. And like I said, I got a couple of little ones, but hopefully, some more things are going to roll in. And I'm sure there's going to be all the social media days and social media weeks that, we're all going to get roped into and be traveling around and all those fun things. So I can't wait to see which ones sign us up.
Hey, just throwing it out there.
Right? I'm like, we're available.
Hint.
Amanda, do you have anything lined up yet?
No, this, in all honesty, this digital nomad lifestyle has taken my whole life and done, like, how did you say it? I've already done like 5 180s already in the last few months. Yeah, so everything is up in the air, but it's up in the air in a very, very good way. I'm clearing the decks to make a lot of room for flexibility to be able to attend more conferences this year.
Nice. Mike, what about you?
Well, the two you mentioned for sure, Social Media Marketing World and Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, where I'll definitely be speaking at the latter. I don't speak at Social Media Marketing World because I have too much fun if I don't speak. So it's all about the networking for me, which is really weird because I am an introvert. But now I'll probably be at Social Media Week Lime. I'll probably be at Social Media Day San Diego again because I love those events this year. Yeah. And I'll look forward to going to those again next year. Content Marketing World, I don't know. I might go to Inbound instead. I haven't really decided yet.
Oh. Is anyone going to go to Traffic and Conversion here in San Diego?
I've never gone before. I'd be interested because that was just blowing up earlier this year. So that looked pretty cool.
Well, that was the thing. So this past year, so for 2018, it literally backed right up to Social Media Marketing World. So everyone was in town for one or both of those conferences. It was insane what was going on in downtown San Diego. This year, they're spread out because Traffic and Conversion is usually in February and Marketing World is in March this year. So they're separated. But I've never been to Traffic and Conversion and I really want to go. It's always been one of those things though where it's always so close to Marketing World that, to coordinate doing both has just never really worked out with my schedule. But I hear the best things about that conference. So I definitely, have that one on the radar.
What about Atomic Con? Marissa just shouted out Atomic Con.
We were just having a conversation earlier. They're trying to get me to go there, and I swear, if it was in the budget right now, I would have my ticket booked. I'm so excited. So, for those of you who don't know what Atomicon is, our friends Andrew and Pete, yay! Andrew and Pete, they're in the UK, and they are launching their inaugural first year of their very own. They run a membership site, a membership group, and support businesses, and it's called Atomic. So their Atomic group, they're launching Atomicon. And this is their inaugural year. So we support them. We're so excited for them. I'm jazzed for them. And I just so badly wish that I could be there. But it's quite a long way across the pond and it's right before Social Media Marketing World. So it would be an out and a back and it's pretty tight.
Nice.
So, but to that point, Andrew and Pete, so they've got the Atomicon, then they're coming out here for Marketing World, and then they're staying in the U.S. because they have another conference 3 weeks later. I don't remember where, but it's somewhere, I want to say maybe like the Midwest or something. But so they're actually staying in the U.S. for those 3 weeks. So who knows what they're going to get up to. But they were like, it's kind of pointless to fly back to the UK and then come back like 2 weeks later. So they're honestly thinking of just staying and traveling around the US and, Southern California and all that kind of stuff. So who knows what we could get up to.
Andrew and Pete, you should come digital nomading. Just saying. Just in between,
Right?
Yeah.
That's for sure. Okay, so Ken says that he wants to go to Atomic Con. Sonia is saying funnel hacking live is a possibility. And ManyChat. Is anyone... Med, are you going to the ManyChat one?
It just happened. It just happened in September, and I wasn't able to go because I had just done Content Marketing World, then Social Media Week Coeur d'Alene with Jen, and then I was in San Diego, and it was just on the heels of all of that, and it was way too jam-packed for that month. So I was disappointed that I couldn't make it. It was ManyChat's very first chatbot conference. It's been the biggest chatbot conference that has taken place so far now that chatbots are a real prominent marketing tool on scene. So I was disappointed I didn't make it, but I'm sure there are going to be lots more.
Love it. Love it. Marissa is asking you, Amanda, are you doing Road to Social again? I think you just mentioned it. Did I lose you?
Yes. So I think the game plan is, am I still here?
Yeah,
you got me? Okay. So I think the game plan is still that Road to Social 2.0 is still on the table as far as I know, and that's going to be leading into social media marketing world. Yeah. So there's going to be, so for those that don't know what Road to Social was, originally the very first Road to Social was started at Social Media Week Lima, then went into Social Media Day Wichita, and then into Social Media Day Denver. So it was a giant road trip across the U.S. Midwest with, there were 4 of us. There was myself, Brian Fanzo, Damian Ross, and Chris Strubb. We were what we call the 100%ers. And then we had other people join us along the way. Some people road trip from, the first leg of the trip. Some people joined us the last leg, but it was amazing. And let me tell you, if you want to do some networking, if you want to network at conferences, go on a road trip and take people with you. It's unbelievable because you're not just living in your own network. You are merging networks and getting to meet and greet and talk to people, and you actually have a conversation talking point to start yourself off with. So it's amazing. So yes, Road to Social 2.0 is definitely a possibility for March leading into social media marketing world.
Love it. And shout out to Steve Dotto who just called out like all the video conferences. So I was like, video! Like, I want to hit up VidCon, Video Marketing World, and Vid Summit. Steve Dotto, can I be your handler? Can we go out to eat and have dim sum at these conferences? Because I'm totally down for that.
Love it.
Hey, okay. So one of the questions that we had regarding the broadcast, Sonia was asking, what are we using to go live with? This is Ecamm. This is Ecamm Live. It's for Mac users. You can add up to 4 people. So you've got Jen, and you've got Amanda. Oh, I got it. And you got Mike. Yeah. Cool beans. All right.
So for those who want to know more, if you have never used Ecamm and you want to go live and you want to bring other people into a live on a Facebook channel, you need to go to heystephanie.com or lightscameralive.com, and Stephanie's got all the material you need to know on how to set up Ecamm there.
Yeah, and let's be honest, because I usually go live with just 2 people, and I was telling like Mike and Jen, I was like, I have never had so much drama trying to get like 4 people on the air, right? Like so much trying to find sparkly shoes, so much trying to check in.
It was like before that. And then of course they're calling me and I'm downstairs with my daughter and I can hear like the Skype ring like from downstairs. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm coming. So I come like running up the stairs completely exhausted, like lunged at my computer because I didn't want it to hang up and risk missing the call. And I'm like, I'm here.
Mike and I were just like, man, it's just going to be the both of us.
Dude.
We've got faith in you.
Stephanie and the introvert.
In Mike, we trust.
To talk about networking.
Mike is awesome. Let's be very honest. I feel like Mike was the glue that helped me in terms of like connecting with everyone and whatnot. So it was amazing. Yay, Mike!
I think Mike. I think we just need to take a minute and say Mike is the glue that helped launch 360 Marketing Squad.
Yes, and I'm gonna focus on you. Yeah, let's see that little redness.
Aww.
Little dimples.
Oh, Maximum, that's so cute. All right, cool. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add about any conferences, networking tips? I mean, we've talked about so much. We've talked about selfies, shoofees, food funnels. We've talked about like nixing the circle at the tables and creating a U. That way people can go. That way you could just kind of like stand at like this at a conference. You're like, you come here. What else did we cover, you guys?
I have 2 more really handy things. One is going after Kelly Noble Marabella's model of what she does when she's at Social Media Marketing World. She pays out of pocket for this, and she is phenomenal. And I don't know how she does it, but she organizes a dinner where she will organize a dinner, and it's invite only, and she's strategically bringing together groups of people that she wants to network amongst themselves. So it's not just Kelly wanting to network with that individual. Kelly is seeing other people in her network that would benefit from having those round dinner conversations with each other, and she builds a dinner and brings everybody together and acts as a connector, and it's phenomenal. So that's one. I mean, it benefits everybody. So that's another networking tip. That's not necessarily networking for introverts, but it's a really amazing networking tactic. Got small dog in the background here.
It's all the food funnel.
The other one, back to the food funnel again though, is Social Media Marketing World does a great job of this at organizing opportunities for people to join in to dinners leading up into the conference or on the different conference evenings where you can just sign up. There's a spreadsheet. You can go in. You don't know who any of these people are. If there's a blank if there's a blank seat at one of the restaurants where somebody's organizing one of these meetups, you just drop your name in there and you just show up at the right time, the right restaurant, the right place. And you get to meet an entire table full of 10, 15 people who you've never met. They don't know anybody else at the table. And that is an amazing, amazing way to kick off that networking. And it's in a very informal setting, and it really helps you with making those connections and those friends for being your conference buddy. So when you actually attend the conference and you're overwhelmed, you're going to sessions, you're trying to talk to people in between sessions and figure out where you need to be, who you need to talk to, who you need to meet. Those being proactive, doing a little bit of research, putting it out there and getting together with people before the conference actually starts has been immensely beneficial for me personally, for networking, and I've seen so many other people benefit from it. So it's not just the conference. It's not just waiting until the day of the conference and walking in the door. Put in a little bit of research and groundwork beforehand. Some conferences set it up and make it a possibility, make it easy for you to sign up for these things. And in other conferences, like some of the smaller social media weeks or the social media days, they don't have anything formal, but you can, usually if you show up at the hotel, there's a whole bunch of people there that are there for the conference. So just insert yourself into those conversations or set up a dinner yourself and put it out there and invite people to it.
And I was going to say, to add to that just briefly, is that when it comes to the conference hotels, like they usually offer conference hotels where you have, like the blocked off rooms and you get a discount or whatever. And a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want to stay at that hotel and I want to go pick a different hotel. But the reality is everyone's staying at that hotel, which means at the end of the night, everyone's going back to that hotel bar for drinks. And see, she's very excited about this.
Starting young.
It's so, it's one of those things where if you stay at that hotel, it's easy for you to partake in everything as well. If you're staying down the street and then you have to leave or you don't go back to the hotel because you go back to your hotel, you're missing out on a lot of those networking opportunities of the casual encounters of just being in the hotel with everybody else. And you see them walking by with their lanyards or their badges and you're like, oh, hey, and you kind of smile in the hallway. And it's in a very informal, casual way, but it can really help bolster some of those relationships outside of the actual conference space.
Well, let's be honest. Let's do a quick little poll amongst ourselves. Who feels that the majority of the networking happens outside of the conference?
Outside of the conference sessions, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's not all about just attending the sessions and soaking in as much social media knowledge as you can. A lot of that magic happens at those events, those after, I don't want to say after parties because it's not really like a giant after, some case it is, sometimes it's an after party.
They're after parties.
Sometimes it's an after party. But for the most part, they're just organized events that happen on the evening before, the evening after. Don't discount those and make the effort to go, even if you just show up and stick around for 1 hour and just put the effort in because that is where the real magic happens.
And let's face it, alcohol and food limber everybody up, right? At that point, everyone's friends, whether or not you know each other.
I mean, okay, you guys, it's official. I'm launching Dim Summit, okay? It's Dim Sum, and it's marketers, and we're going to chill at a table. It's not going to be a circle table. It's going to be a U table, right? Because it's all about you. Oh, oh my God.
We just
leave your business cards at the door.
It's all done.
Boom.
Love it. Tickets going on sale 2019.
Dim Summit 2019 coming at you.
Mike,
Get your tickets now.
Mike, you had something that you were going to add on.
I did. Oh boy.
We were talking about the networking happening after the.
I was going to just say, pay attention to whether or not the conference is recording sessions, and we'll have them available after the conference for you to watch and stream online. Because if that's the case, then you can take some of the pressure off yourself that you've got to get to those sessions that you want to learn from. Because the learning is great, don't get me wrong. But the networking, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you can watch that session on your own later, if that works for you, then use that time to sit down with somebody, have some coffee. I mean, like Jen was saying, that last day of Social Media Marketing World this past spring, we didn't go to any sessions because we were sitting in the networking lounge at the tables. And I tell you, that was way more valuable to me than attending those sessions. Again, not that the information that was being presented in the sessions was bad or not valuable, but I can get that still today. I can go back and watch a session on chatbots or AI or whatever the case might be. But, having an opportunity to finally meet Steph face to face, come on.
I have a confession to make. Guess how many sessions I went to last year at Social Media Marketing World?
1, just Jen's.
None.
I think she came to mind, to be honest. I don't think she was in mine.
No love
but
for you.
I was also volunteering at the conference and working with the society. So that's cool. I have an excuse. It's all about the networking. It's all about the networking.
Well, I was kind of...
The reality is, like, to get everybody in that one space, like, that is something that only happens once a year. Like, Social Media Marketing World is one of the biggest conferences, and it has the biggest kind of group of our network that all shows up in one place at one time. And it's like a giant high school reunion every year. It's, and so it's not that we don't want to go to the sessions, and the sessions are amazing. And as a speaker, I want you to go to people's sessions, but there's something to be said for making time for that networking, and to, whether it's the after, events, whether it's the morning walks or the morning yoga sessions or a breakfast or a lunch or a dinner, do what you can to fit in those additional networking times, because you're not going to see those people again for who knows how long. And it may not even be next year, because they may not come back next year due to budget reasons or things like that. So don't miss out on those opportunities that, even I had somebody reach out. Actually, it was Chris Strub, and he was like, yeah, I didn't want to walk up to you last year and interrupt you. You were talking to somebody. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And he was like, well, I didn't know you like I know you now. And I'm like, but think how well we would know each other now if you had said hi last year. And, Amanda and I are heading off to Arizona literally tomorrow for a girls' weekend retreat. And it's, 7 women in a space.
Mike, we gotta go to Paris.
I am in Arizona. Miss Toronto is in Arizona right now making this happen. Yeah.
But I was going to say the person who really coordinated the whole thing is Bella Vasta, who is amazing, who I did not know before Social Media Marketing World. And she literally walked up to me at Marketing World and said, hi. I think her exact words were, I love you, in which case I was like, I love you too. But we never actually met. I had no idea who she was. And now we're going on a retreat 6-7 months later with each other and 5 other women. So these are things that were those casual passings. These are those things where someone took the initiative to say hi, or in Chris's case, not to throw him under the bus, but he didn't say hi. And I'm like, just think how much better we would know each other this year if you did say hi last year. So don't miss those opportunities because you're afraid to walk up to somebody, or you don't want to interrupt, or you're like, oh, I'll talk to them later, because sometimes you literally won't see them again. So make sure you take advantage.
And just another example of that is one of the people that I stayed with along the way when I stayed in Houston on this giant digital nomad trip was somebody that I met at Social Media Marketing World 3 years ago. And he hasn't been back since. So to Stephanie's point, where you might see them, they might not come back again with budget constraints, whatnot, but the value of the relationships that you can build on the spot, IRL, in real life, face to face, it's so valuable. So just don't let your own personal hangups, your own anxiety, your own whatever it is you have a challenge with, do not let that stand in your way of making the most out of the opportunity to go and say hi to people and make some new friends, make new connections, and really take advantage of the complete endless possibilities that networking and building these relationships can bring to you. And it may not happen within 6 months for you. It may not happen within a year for you. Look at me. 3 years later, that connection ended up being a really amazing in real life connection that worked out very, very well. So just go in without expectations and just be yourself. Be your true self. Don't try to impress anybody. Don't try and tell everybody what you do. Just be you.
I love that advice, because it was 3 years ago for me, my first trip to Social Media Marketing World, where I didn't really know anybody. I knew Peg Fitzpatrick, so I was following Peg around like a puppy. And they have, at Social Media Marketing World, they've got the big lunches where you go in and everybody grabs a box lunch and then goes and finds a table because there's so many people. And so, again, I was just following Peg, and we're wandering through, looking at the different tables. And at Social Media Marketing World, they've got different topics at different tables. And she saw a guy sitting by himself at the international table. And she said, oh, let's go sit with him. He's by himself. I said, okay, great. Well, she knew him. And so she sat down and she's talking to him and she introduces me, and his name is Emmerich. And turns out he runs a social media management tool. And I'd never heard of it before, but he's showing me on his little phone how his tool works. I'm really impressed. So he's giving me a little demo on his phone how the tool works. And
that a little dig
it gives me an account, and fast forward several years, that's Agorapulse, who I became an affiliate for and then an ambassador for because I love the tool, and now he hired me. I stinking work for this company. That's why these ladies have been making fun of me about Paris because I have this dream job. I get to go to Paris 3 times a year. Where
oh my gosh, rough life! 3 times a year.
But I owe it all to Peg, and I owe it all to Social Media Marketing World, and I owe it all to just me being open to whatever kind of opportunities and relationships might have presented themselves at that time.
Awesome. And I have to say, to add to that, and I know we're kind of getting close to the hour, but and I know George was tuned in here earlier, but George came to Social Media Marketing World for the first time this year. He just launched his agency a few months before, and he showed up at the conference. He happened to see Tyler Anderson, who is a podcaster that he has listened to. He said hi to Tyler. Tyler introduced him to me and to a couple of people. I introduced him to a bunch of people. Next thing you know, he's we have each other's phone numbers and we're texting, we're messaging on Facebook and we're friends, and we help him and he helps us, and there's this entire relationship that builds out of literally because somebody said, hey, you need to meet so-and-so. And not to, say swarm those of us who know people at a conference, but don't be afraid to kind of partner up and do the buddy system that Amanda mentioned with somebody who knows people. We joke about the hashtag Gentourage, but I legitimately had the Gentourage with me last year at Marketing World, and a lot of those people didn't know everybody else, and I'm introducing them to all the other speakers because I know them, and I'm introducing them to people I don't know because I'll walk up to anybody at Marketing World and say hi. But it was I'm comfortable doing that, and a couple of my friends who are with me are not comfortable. I had one of my friends, and she's, not the outgoing person. She's much more shy and introverted. She's the one that, chose to have her own hotel room for those reasons. And she's sitting there beside me, and, we've got, all the different speakers and people are coming by. Jay Bear came by and sat down beside me, and she's literally 3 feet on the side of me, just shell-shocked, complete and utter, what is happening right now?
I hung out with you once, Jen, and then you had introduced me to Tanya, and I swear she cried right on the spot. She's
yes!
I was like, what?
And that's just it. And it's these are people that, maybe, Tanya's not that person to walk up to somebody and just say hi, but because she was with me and I would say hi to anybody, she got to say hi to those people, and she got to build those relationships and meet people. And she's coming back this year, and she's coming bigger, badder, and stronger, and she can't wait. And, it's one of those things that, it's as an introvert, as an extrovert, if you're at a conference where you don't know people, find somebody who does, kind of, piggyback off of them a little bit. You don't want to, leech on and be there the entire conference, but at least take opportunities to say, feel free, to introduce me to somebody if you think I should meet them or,
hey,
or those
you haven't introduced me to anybody yet. I'm going to go over to Mike now.
So, now before we do hit the hour, because we probably want to keep this tight, one of you, I think it should be Mike, should maybe introduce what 360 Marketing Squad is.
Oh, me.
Should we actually talk about something that we're actually promoting?
Oh yeah, we're doing this thing.
We got this little thing going on. Kind of cool.
Well, there's a couple of tie-ins. The first is that we're talking about what happens at events, and like we said, Social Media Marketing World happens once a year, right? But what do you do the rest of the year? What do you do the rest of the year if you want to network and you want to collaborate, you want to co-market? What do you do the rest of the year when you want help, when you want somebody that you can ask questions to that maybe isn't sitting right next to you because maybe you're a solopreneur, maybe you're a marketer for a big business, but you're the one running the whole department? What do you do when you are trying to grow your business and you want to know whether or not your ideas are sound? That's why you want to have some kind of a group, some kind of a mastermind, people that you can ping and ask and rely on. So we've started the 360 Marketing Squad because we're 360.
Oh, snap, we did it all at the same time. Well, you got to snap it too.
And there's 4 of us, so that's a squad. And, of course, we're going to be talking about marketing. So this is a private, exclusive Facebook group where everyone who's in the group, they have access to the 4 of us. They have access to the live broadcast that we do only in the group, which first one's tomorrow morning. And we help them with Facebook, with Twitter, with live video, with blogging, with email, with chatbots, whatever you need help with when it comes to marketing. You can show up in that group and you can get resources and you can have opportunities to network with other people in the group and with us and get those questions answered.
Dang, Mike Alton, preach. Okay. You go, boo.
Well done. Well done. But I think the real amazing part about this. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Should we tell them? Should we tell them? I don't know. We got a lot of backlash. We got a lot of backlash.
Inexpensive.
A lot of people
super inexpensive.
Sure. Like, certain people were almost pissed. So, should we tell them?
I won't tell them.
All right, Steph, it's on you. Tell them.
Tell them. All right. Okay, look, listen. Stop. Look, listen. Whatever you're doing right now, stop. All right, cool. You get $1 for Mike, $1 for Amanda, $1 for Jen, $1 for me, and $1 to invest in you. So $5 a month, y'all. You get all of us. If you're digging this, if you're feeling this, listen. Like, creativity sparks a chain reaction, and you could just see, like, as we're talking about certain things, about marketing strategies, you're not only just getting one perspective, you're getting perspectives from every single person that's here, and we have the energy, we have the experience. I think combined, we have like more than 20 years of marketing experience about like what's going on in the digital space. And it's not like we're just sitting on this stuff. We're heading out to conferences, we're connecting, and we'll get you connected. So again, you know, Mike and I, Dim Summit, you got the shoot fees, the selfies, we'll hook you up. That's built in. We're gonna have a meetup too at Social Media Marketing World, aren't we?
Totally.
Yeah. We're gonna have, because all 4 of us are gonna be there, and so those people who are in the group are gonna get, you know, special access to that event. And it is, like we said, it's $5, you guys. You get into the Facebook group. You have us at your fingertips. There's a live video in. Oh, see, my daughter's super excited about it. She won't be on all the calls. It's just, you know, unique circumstances. But we're going to have a live call at least once a month. We're going to take our network of people and have them come speak and share information in that Facebook group as well. And to the point of the price, because I had a lot of people asking about this, and I talked about it on my Instagram Live last night. And they're like, why is it only $5? And I'm like, first of all, we do a lot of this stuff for free in all of our other groups and locations. So for us to get paid anything is kind of a win-win for us. But really, we want it to be affordable for you. We really genuinely want you guys to be able to afford it. And we understand that not every business has $1,000 a month budget for marketing support. And we know what it costs to go out and outsource people to do your marketing for you or to hire a consultant to come in. So if we can, for $5, give you the chance to have all the updated news, all the breaking features, when they happen, have, you know, us sharing with you how to use them effectively, as well as offer training on all of these different things, you know, then you win, and we are legitimately here to make sure that you're successful. That's the whole purpose of this group, is we want you to be able to take advantage of it and see real success.
You listening, you. Desiree's already in it because she's badass.
Think about, hi Desiree, but think about it. If you had to subscribe to, say, for the 4 people that are sitting here, if you had to subscribe to an individual Facebook group for each of our individual expertise, and say those Facebook groups are being charged at the market rate of anywhere from $30 to $50 per month, or sorry, it's $30 to $99 per month for that information. That's only in one subject. $5, and you're getting the entire 360 degrees of marketing at your fingertips, where you can drop a question that you have into that group. And if we can't answer it with our collective expertise, we know everybody in the industry, and we bring our friends in, and we bring knowledgeable people to the table to make sure that you are getting the information that you need. So it's a no-brainer in my mind.
All right, and so I'm getting questions, and they're saying, where do we sign up? Okay, so you guys, you have to go to 360marketingsquad.com, 360marketingsquad.com. The PayPal button is there. You subscribe, $5 a month. You are in the group. Mike will make sure that you get approved and everything's taken care of, because Mike is the only reason we have any success, is because Mike takes care of everything for us.
In Mike we trust.
Exactly. But you guys, seriously, 360 Marketing Squad, if you have questions, you can email any of us. You can message any of us. You can reach out to us. We will answer those questions. But the 360marketingsquad.com page will answer most of your questions. And it is legitimately $5, and it's not going to go up. This isn't like a 1-month promo. It is $5 a month.
Yeah, you
but
guys.
join now, because first thing tomorrow morning, we're doing our first live. I'm going to be broadcasting only into the group, talking about how I promote blog posts, how I get hundreds and hundreds of eyeballs and social shares on our brand new post within 24 hours. And there's free giveaways. You're getting a free book tomorrow. And I actually literally just built a swipe file that I'm going to give everybody where they can check off all the different things that they're doing to promote their content. So, dude, that's $5 right there. Come on.
Okay, so we're officially making In Mike We Trust shirts. Thank you, Desiree, for the recommendation.
Yes. I am so all over that.
In Mike We Trust. Love it.
It's true.
And I thought that was your hand for a second.
I know. I'm just gonna be totally fine.
In Mike We Trust.
We talked about the slap, right? We talked about because we had all three of us in a row. We were like,
oh, that's right,
row. All three of us. So she's just taking it literally and trying to slap me. It's really funny.
Well, shout out to Ken Watson, who said that he canceled his Linktree account to join the 360 marketing crew. So thank you so much, Ken. We appreciate you. We love you. You guys, 360, take a good look around. You're in good company. Yeah. All right, you guys, are we signing off? Are we good to go?
We're good to go.
Out. This was fun.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch this, and thank you for everybody that is watching it on the replay as well. And there are going to be lots more of these where this one came from.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.